And welcome back, everybody, to another chapter of Muskogee Rougher Football. I'm Bill Huddleston, along with the head coach of the Roughers, Josh Blankenship. 5 weeks already gone, halfway through the season. What an exciting ball game last week at Indian Bowl.
It was exciting. It didn't finish the way we wanted it to finish. We felt like we missed an opportunity there to steal one from the Tigers. But we are progressing, and we're getting better, and we're growing up, and we've still got half the season ahead of us to get that streak going before we hit the playoffs. I
know you, the players, were all focused on what was happening out on the field, but from my vantage point in the press box, able to look down on the crowd and see everybody standing on their feet in those closing minutes. That drive that went down the field in the last 8 minutes where nobody touched the football but the Roughers. Everybody was up cheering, screaming. It goes to overtime and didn't come out the way certainly that you felt like it should have, but what an effort. I mean, just the fact that this ball club has come so far since first starting this season way back in August.
Sure. The effort is there, and one of the things we've talked about since the beginning was getting our guys to believe, and that's there now.
Roughers came out in overtime just on the short end of the scoreboard, but there were some fantastic efforts given by the guys wearing the green and white out at Indianville last Friday night. First of all, we're going to take a look at some of the big hits defensively. Josh, there were plenty of those because this defensive team came charged up, ready to play.
Week in and week out, they learn how to fly around even more, pursue the ball even more, and they brought the hat on Friday night also.
They certainly did, led by their defensive coordinator, Bobby Klink, and the play of their defensive squad. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from last Friday night's ball game, and we just go right out of the beginning.
Well, we knew they had a run game that we were going to have to contain, and when you got guys that are sticking with their responsibilities, pursuing the football, you've got Xavier Hunter coming up and making plays, and of course Wes Starr's been a maniac for the past 3 weeks. He continues to play well. They're back, dangerous threat, not only running the ball but coming out of the backfield. And when you got your defensive ends dropping and doing their responsibility like Chandler did there.
Jarring hit there by Wes Starr, just playing the read at middle linebacker.
Filling his gap, doing what he's coached to do, and when guys do that, they're able to make plays.
And that's really a situation where you heated the quarterback, forced him to throw a little bit early, and then it was able to get the deal. And now we see big Jamel Ingram jumping in and tossing the QB to the turf.
And again, like you said, it has to do with everybody doing their part. When he gets flushed out by the other guys, Jamel's obviously ready there to wrap him up as he comes out.
Just watching how this defense kept the game within grasp. And here's one of those situations where it really becomes a coverage sack, even though the guys up front get credit for it. There was no place to throw the ball.
And a red zone coverage sack at that, which is huge. You got your corner coming up, forcing them back to turn it back inside, and then obviously we got a lot of green shirts in there.
And good play there by Dylan Rice right there in the middle because he just stayed his ground and then waited on the guy to come to him. A separating tackle there, forcing the tight end to drop the football, and kind of gives us an opportunity to welcome this big guy behind us because he is the defensive player of the week.
He's actually been our defensive player of the week for the past 2 weeks. There's been a ton of guys that have been making plays on the defense side of the ball. Wes Starr's been a guy that we've acknowledged and recognized. Obviously guys in the secondary and linebacker and obviously up front along with Dylan. But Dylan for the past 2 weeks has not only played exceptionally well, but he's doing it on both sides of the ball. And for somebody to come over on offense and block for us the way he is up front and then be able to go and still be a relentless pass rusher and run stopper says a lot about the way he's playing right now.
Dylan Rice, our player of the week from the Broken Arrow contest. Dylan, your thoughts about last Friday night's football game, and you saw some of those video clips.
We played hard. We wanted to win, but like Coach said, like he said the whole week, we had it in our hands, but we just didn't take it.
Now, I think you had a question for me about the video clips.
Yeah. We're missing out on the very first play of the drive with my sack.
Yeah, got to give him credit. He got that very first play of the drive and made the big bone-jarring hit. How much fun was it playing last Friday night? You could hear, no doubt, the crowd cheering you on, the encouragement from the sideline, and then just the emotion to go against, as Coach said, maybe the second-best team in 6A.
It was fun. They gave us competition. I mean, went hard. Everybody went hard. It was, like I said, it was really fun.
Now,
I mean, flying around with the ball, hitting people. I mean, I just love the game.
Yeah, Coach Heath tells me that you guys up front are called the Wolf Pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to explain what all that means? Is there a little inside story there?
Well, we just started calling them Wolf Pack because they always roll around in one. They don't roll around in one. They all together at all times.
And that's kind of the way it was last Friday night. The defensive front was there. The linebackers were in their spot. The guys on the back end. It was a total team effort. Now, in last Friday night's ball game and a couple of other games earlier, you've been going in there at times for spot duty in that offensive line. When that happens, that's a big side of the offensive line when you add yourself, along with JB or whoever else is up front, Cody Heaton and others. Talk a little bit about how you were able to take that defensive mentality and turn it into a positive situation on the offensive line.
I still stay aggressive. You know, I try to block people, try to grab them, throw them down, use my hands. I mean, I go after people. I don't wait for them to come to me. I go after them.
And that's what you want in an offensive line, right?
It's the mentality that's hard to teach sometimes. But when they've already got it in them naturally, the aggressiveness that they're going to fire off the ball, and right or wrong, I'm going to knock that guy off the ball. We can do things with that.
When you're trying to establish a run game, that is a big mentality to have because you've got to whip the man in front of you.
Absolutely, and with the guys we have in the backfield carrying the ball, we give them a little crease, and they're going to be able to do some things.
And this guy, you don't have to add anything to his fire because he comes aggressive.
He does. That's why he's doing the things he's doing on both sides of the ball.
Dylan Rice is our player of the week this week, just a junior, so we're not going to get to enjoy him for the rest of the 2011 campaign. Big guy. We get another year of this, too. So plenty of opportunity to see Dylan Rice back here on our weekly coaches show as our player of the week. He is the award winner this week from the Broken Arrow contest in week 5. When we come back, we're going to take a look at some of the offensive highlights. We'll give you a chance to meet our champion of the week as Muskogee Rougher Football Coaches Show continues here on TV 15. And welcome back, everybody, to the Muskogee Rougher Football Coaches Show. Bill Huddleston along with the head coach of the Roughers, Josh Blankenship. Josh, in our earlier segment, we kind of identified some of the big plays defensively. That was an electronic atmosphere. I mean, action-filled atmosphere. Mm-hmm. It got started early with the offense, and it just got better as the game progressed.
Well, we stuck with the game plan, which was we knew we were going to have to be able to run the ball to set up our stuff play action-wise. The things that we want to do in the passing game were only going to come as a result of what we're doing in the run game. So we stuck with it, and we had the success that we needed to have, especially at key clutch moments where we had to have plays. We made the plays to be able to get in the end zone, put ourselves in position to win.
What's been the real progression of this squad offensively to see how much this offensive run game has come to reality?
It has to do with the progression of the guys up front, first and foremost, then having our running backs trust what we're asking them to do, whether it be an angle or an aiming point or a step or a read, and they're doing those things. And then when you add Trevor Giles' growth as a quarterback, mainly in being patient on his shots. When we're going to take a shot here and there, I'm kind of a quarterback guy. I like throwing the ball downfield. So you got to have a guy that's going to be patient and say, if it's not there, I'm going to throw it away. And when it is there in those clutch moments, we got to take advantage. And he's done that the past 2 weeks and really played well.
You certainly got to give that young man a lot of pats on the back because you know he was getting a little bit of heat. He was putting heat on himself, no doubt.
Sure.
But he was also getting the comments from the community about, okay, we haven't had a touchdown pass. Well, he made up for it in some big ways last week in week number 5.
Well, and that comes with the territory of playing quarterback, and he knows that. And I've told him since the beginning the best thing that he has going for him is his poise.
Let's take a look at some of those big offensive moments in last Friday night's ball game against the Broken Arrow Tigers. And, Coach, I'll just let you take a look at the screen.
Well, I believe this was one of those clutch situations where we had to have the sticks move, and Trevor does a good job of finding Vic on a little option route. Those two have really gotten good at that the past couple weeks. Here we threw a little bubble out. It was a key third down situation. A little flash fake there to hold that backer in the box. It actually worked, and we got great blocking on the edge. And, of course, when you get the ball in Victor's hands, he's going to make good things happen with it. We've been running this lead here with Bradley the whole game, really the past couple weeks. It's actually what we won the game on in overtime against Southmore. So we did the same thing, just a little play action where Bradley goes up like he's leading and then obviously slips through there. Trevor makes a great throw, and it's off to the races from there. The bubble game here, again, it's a key component of our offense. It's built into the run game. Vic right here on the cue keeper, and then obviously great blocking up front. We even got helmets of the BA guys getting knocked off. Rondell really running the ball well again with Bradley leading for him. Obviously, great things going to happen when those guys show up.
This is pretty exciting right here.
Oh, man, we especially coming out of halftime talking about how, if this is the second best team in the state, what does that make us? And for us to be in position to win the game coming into the second half, and then for our kickoff return team to immediately return the kick, and everybody goes, we're in it. And we're not only in it, we've got a chance to win this thing. It was huge to set that up.
Well, you were behind on the scoreboard, and managed to get caught up, and then had to put together an 8+ minute drive in the final 9 minutes, keeping the ball out of Broken Arrow's hands to go down and score, and then the touchdown run by Victor to cap it all off. I mean, 8+ minutes of time of possession is huge.
It's huge, especially when they have the offense that they have, and we know if we score too quickly, that they'll probably go answer, not take anything away from our defense, but they're so good offensively, it was a deal that you don't want to even give them that opportunity.
He's here today because he is the example that Coach talks about all the time about being a champion both on the field as well as off.
No question. He is our champion of the week. What's awesome about the guys that we bring on here as a champion of the week is it's not just all of a sudden they were what we call a champion of the week. They've been a champion the whole time, but this is our week to honor them. Preston's one of those guys, does everything right on and off the field. He's exceptional in the classroom and in the community. He's the first one to volunteer when we've got something that needs to get done. And then what I love about him personally is he's a kicker by trade. He knows that that's where his future is going to be, and yet he is willing to go do anything and everything to help our team win, whether it be going there at quarterback. I think he'd go in there and play linebacker if we asked him to.
Sure.
But you got to have those guys to be successful, and Preston's definitely one of those guys.
Preston, how much fun is it this season to be wearing the green and white of the Ruffers each and every week?
Oh, it's very, very fun. I'm so glad to play for the Ruffers this year. We are getting better and better each week.
Now, we talked about the kicking success, and obviously your talents have been proven. Last year you set a school record with a 53-yard field goal. And Friday night, Coach, before the ball game, I asked Soap, I said, how far can you kick it? He said, wherever it is. I mean, that's the type of confidence you need in your kicker, right?
Yeah, that's like a shooter walking in the gym, and as soon as he steps in, that's his range. That's kind of Soper when he steps on the football field.
Now, beyond football, Preston, tell us a little bit about some of the activities that you're involved in and kind of some of your things that you tried to add to the success of this family.
I just want to set a good example for our team, just being a role model of people off the field in the community. Like what we did Friday when we read to third graders. I want to set an example, show them that education is just as important as football, and that just Muskogee Ruffers aren't just football players. We are students as well.
Absolutely. And when you went to those schools, you could see the bright eyes on those kids' faces. It kind of warms your heart, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
How much fun was that to be able to sit in front of a group of third and fourth graders and to be able to share their reading time with them?
It was very fun. They were happy the whole entire time. They were laughing. They asked questions about football, school, and they were just happiest things ever.
Now, we know that your grade point average is right up there at the top of your class. Tell us a little bit about your class schedule and maybe what your favorite class is.
My favorite class right now is pre-AP Physics.
No, wait a minute. He said pre-AP Physics.
Right.
I understand AP, but I don't understand pre-AP Physics.
I don't even want to mess with it.
That's an upper level course, right?
Physics is hard enough as it is.
Have you thought about what you want to do professionally as a career once whatever is done with college?
Probably could go to a big university and get a degree in petroleum engineering.
There you go.
Obviously, there's big.
That's why we're really good friends right now, because the man that's going to have a job in petroleum engineering, we're going to be buddies.
Well, he certainly has an opportunity for play beyond the high school level too, because he is a very talented kicker and something that I know you feel very confident about putting him in any situation.
Oh, no question. We feel confident in Preston, and he's got a bright future ahead of him, even beyond high school, whether it be kicking. We may very well see him kicking on Sundays, or we may see him making the big bucks as a big oil man.
Well, all one thing I'm going to say is I'm going to come back to this show, Preston, and say, remember, I'm your friend.
Evidence.
We've got evidence that you're our friend, and we're glad that you're here. Glad to have you as our champion of the week, and just keep up the good work, and let's see if we can't set a few more records in the kicking game.
All right.
Preston Soper has been our champion of the week in this segment of Muskogee Refer Football Coaches Show. We come back with some thoughts about the upcoming ball game against the Jinx Trojans. See how the Ruffers can prepare for this Friday night's ball game. That when the Refer Coaches Show continues here on TV 15. Welcome back to TV 15's Muskogee Refer Football Coaches Show. I'm Bill Huddleston along with the head coach of the Muskogee Ruffers, Josh Blankenship. Josh, what could have been leaves opportunity for this week as you move into week number 6 and go against a ball club that everybody knows what type of success has been wearing underneath the helmet of the Trojans of Jinx.
Right. Obviously, Jinx has an amazing tradition. There's no denying that. And then obviously their tradition against the Muskogee Ruffers has kind of been a streak of, I believe, since 1992.
Right.
Coach Heath reminded me that was probably the year we think was the last time the Ruffers beat the Trojans.
It was 1992. Jason Freeman actually blocked a field goal attempt that would have given Jinx the victory there at Hunter Dwelly Stadium. So you've got a chance to break that streak at the same place it started with the Ruffers' last win.
Well, our goals haven't changed as far as it doesn't matter if it's Jinx or if it's Broken Arrow or if it's Shawnee the following week. We're going to go out there and prepare to win the game. We've game planned to do that. We're practicing to do that, and then when we show up on Friday night, we're going to go into it expecting to win. Well, I think one of the focus points that we've made is we're not playing ghosts. We're not playing the Jinx teams that have beat Muskogee in the past. We're playing the Jinx team right now in 2011. So that's what we've got to show up for, and that's who we've got to play Friday night.
And that belief factor of the young ball club at Muskogee certainly plays huge dividends into that opportunity. Let's take a look at the standings in District 6A3 as we come into week number 6, and you'll get a chance to see exactly where the Ruffers stand. You see Norman, Broken Arrow, and Jinx each at 2-0. Could have been the Ruffers coach, but now you're in a tie with Southmore at 1-1.
Well,
Sapulpa
actually,
0-2-2.
And we've got the head-to-head over Southmore, so that's actually not accurate. They've obviously got that based on the overall record.
Right.
We feel like we're very much still in the running for the district championship. If we can go knock off Jinx, there's a lot of action to be played with Jinx still playing Broken Arrow and Norman playing both of those schools. A lot of beating up amongst one another that could happen if we just go knock off one of them. We're right in the mix.
Take care of your own business is what you're trying to say.
Oh, absolutely.
And now, there have been lots of comments coming from the community since last Friday night's ball game. Those comments have been building all season long, Coach. You haven't seen all of them, but just from the Facebook page at Muskogee Ruffer TV, there have been a lot of different comments, and we'll bring up some of those for you, give you a chance to kind of see. Here we see the comments from Beth Hannah Chesney. It was an awesome game to watch, and our Ruffers played their heart and soul. Vic was outstanding as an athlete, just as his dad is. I mean, a record setter in track, and there's still some competition going on between those two guys. Obviously, several other comments that we can see. If we can bring up Kevin Summerhill's here, Ruffers don't have anything to hang their heads about. They've come a long way since week 1. As coaches always say, got a long way to go.
No question.
Next up here, some comments here. Fantastic game, Nalita Cash. Alice Lewis talking about how the group prays together, giving the credit to the Lord each game and asking for strength for the next one. And same thing here from Trudy Cooper. The key is giving God the credit to the outcome of the game, and the best is still yet to come. And I think those are words that ring strong in the heart of the head coach.
Well, they mean a lot to me because obviously that's something I believe, but when the players want to do that on their own, we pull it up after every game, and when they want to pull it up together and pray, that's a pretty special deal.
Coach, we had a chance to get some questions from the community, and I think we've got a question that also came from Facebook. This comes from Aaron Weedle. Do you exercise on a regular basis, and if so, what do you prefer, lifting weights or running?
I probably prefer to do neither, but to maintain, and with my wife reminding me that I need to, I actually do a little bit of both. I really enjoy the running more for the stress relief and kind of clear my head more than anything. Do a little bit of lifting, just kind of. It's all maintenance now. It's when I was playing where I was single, it was all about a means to an end. Now it's just maintenance.
I love you saying that. The wife reminds you because I think after the ball game on Friday night, she told you no cheesecake in the locker room.
Yeah, no cheesecake. I'm a little lactose intolerant, and she suffers the consequences when I have that.
Well, certainly what the Ruffers will try to do is take that intolerance to Hunter Dwelly Stadium this Friday night when they take on the Jinx Trojans. We'll be there with Ruffer TV with some highlights that you'll see here on next week's program. We've also got our radio broadcast that'll be on AM 1490. The live stream broadcast, Josh, that we get a chance to add video to that. It's available at rufferfootball.com and also at vipok.com. And what type of feedback have you been receiving? And I know you said you watched some of those highlights from the Southmore game.
Well, I like being able to go back and from that little bit wider angle than what we have on our video. It sounds weird, but I like watching the reaction of our players and coaches on the sideline. So I went back and watched after the Southmore game. I wanted to see the celebration because it was one of the things we talked about was celebrating each other's success, and it was awesome to watch our whole sidelines, and even I'm seeing the cheerleaders running down the sideline as
chasing him to the end zone.
As Sid Trell's about to return the kick to win the game, and the whole bleachers and sideline are moving down the direction he's running. I love that. I absolutely love that. So it's fun to watch.
Ruffers will look to take that emotion to Hunter Dwelly Stadium this Friday night. It's a 7:30 kickoff. The broadcast online and on radio begins at 7 o'clock. And then don't forget, every Tuesday night from Malon's, we have our weekly coaches show that's also live streamed as well as broadcast on 97.1 FM, the Sports Animal. So a lot of opportunities for you to keep up with the latest news in Muskogee Ruffer football, but best of all, your chance to be at Jinx this Friday night when, Josh, it's all on you. It's all